Mic check, episode 19. So last time I was a little buzzed on my last episode. I drank some beers and I really like want to apologize to my audience for that. But I still put it out because that's reality and it was a genuine episode. Like I like to be honest and that's who I am. I'm an alcoholic. I deal with sobriety on a daily basis. It's like it's a struggle that never ends. And sometimes I drink and sometimes I don't and sometimes I'm healthier, sometimes I'm not. But I keep trying. And that's kind of like the message I want to send to people is you just got to keep trying because like every day's a new day and you don't have to drink the next day if you don't want to. Even though you got drunk the day before, you don't have to drink the next day, even if it hurts, even if you're getting withdrawals or like, oh, in certain cases, I guess you do have to drink the next day. Alcoholism is crazy. It can kill you. It can kill you very easily. I think talking to my cousin enough finally got him to go to rehab, and he told me it did. He went last week. Kudos to him. I just wanted to talk about some records, kind of like stand my ground a little bit about my feelings about American rock and roll versus British rock and roll. Not apologize for the way I talked about English rock and roll, but actually like stand my ground. I'm not gonna apologize. I'm not apologetic about that. I really believe that American rock and roll is real rock and roll, and then there's British music, like English music. You try to name me one English rock band, I can name you one American rock band that's better. There, I said it. And it's always that case. They try to do rock and roll, and some, like I said, some of the bands cross over, like the Stones and the Animals. Let's not forget the Animals. The Animals. The Animals is an English band that definitely crossed over. They were real rock and roll, and they were from England. Rock and roll is deep rooted in America, and then the English loved it so much that they kind of made it their own, but it has its own style. I really believe that you have to distinguish American rock and roll between English rock and roll. I want people's opinions too, because like I was like thinking, like we were just talking about how the Beatles were like a huge staple in rock and roll, and I really kind of disagree. Like people say that the Beatles were a huge staple in rock and roll, but I feel like they were more like a boy band because they kind of were. It was like they changed their looks, they kind of sold out, and then they made like a who influenced the Beatles that were more important with Bob Dylan and Buddy Holly. Like the Beatles were taking Buddy Holly's music and just playing it a little faster. I mean, the Beatles are cool, but the Stones are so much better. The Stones kick the Beatles' ass when it comes to rock and roll. The Animals are up there too. So let's go back to the beginning with Robert Johnson selling his soul to the devil, and that's kind of how rock and roll started. Rock and roll is the devil's music. I do like Christian music, but I do not believe that Christian, I take that back. There are Christian songs that are pretty cool rock and roll songs. But yeah, anyways, Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil, and that's how rock and roll basically was born. It kind of like the actual birth of rock and roll was when Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil, and he came back to town and knew how to play guitar when he didn't know how to play guitar before. And he created a sound harmonically that was the beginnings of rock and roll. And then Chuck Berry later on created rock and roll. He gave it its name and gave it its sound. That's why I believe that America owns rock and roll. I'm proud to be an American. And that's one of the reasons I am proud to be American, is because rock and roll belongs here. It's like where it came from. The ball keeps bouncing back and forth on like who takes control of like the airwaves and stuff. Like for a while, it keeps going back from English to America. But it's like, in my opinion, maybe because I am American, I believe that that's where it belongs. That's where the trophy belongs. This is where it happened. Ground zero. I'm gonna do an episode. I'm gonna go to Elvis's house. I'm gonna go to Nashville, and I'm gonna take my camera with me. But I'm gonna stop in some places along the way that have. I want to go to Detroit, and we're gonna do an episode on that too. I want to take a tour of rock and roll and how important it is for this country. Like right now, I think our country's kind of like it's taken a few shots lately. Historically, I don't think our country is what it could be, and we need to remember things that make our country strong. Christianity and religion, the freedom of religion, the freedom of expression, and that's rock and roll. The freedom of expression. I wanted to highlight some records too. The Outsiders' Time Won't Let Me. I picked this up in a garage sale. It's pretty cool. This is a really, really fun record to listen to. Nine Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral. This record is pretty crazy. I feel like Trent Reznor took a lot of what The Cure was trying to do in a lot of these new wave bands and gave it like real heart to it. Like he got these like electric instruments. Damn near everything was an electrical instrument. The reason I love Nine Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral, so much is because it's so like he made something so organic out of something so fake. Like Trent Reznor gave breath to electronic music. Like he gave it a soul. Like he really gave it like it's breath. Like it's like it's air. Like if you listen to the way that these electronic instruments are played, and with the meaning behind it and the intensity, it gives it so much life. Like it's just so much life in something that's so plastic. Kind of like Radiohead. This is a great record. And then the Fragile. Fragile is fantastic too. I got the originals. I was in rehab and I had saved so much money from not doing any drugs or drinking that I had all this cash on me. So I was like, I want to buy some cool shit. I don't want to say how much I spent on this, but this is an original print of the Fragile. Oh, these are the lyrics. There's something else in here that I wanted to show you guys. It's a little pamphlet, like the sequencing of the Fragile and how he created this stuff. It's pretty intense. You have to hand it to Trent Reznor for doing it all himself too. Like he literally he is such a one-man show. He is such a one-man show. Oh, I wanted to talk about Rodney Dangerfield. This is a funny ass record. No respect, Rodney Dangerfield. I haven't talked about a comedy record yet, and I saw this and I wanted to talk about it. It made me laugh so hard the first time I heard this. He delivers. One of the jokes that he said in here was pretty funny. He says, I was so ugly as a child that my mother wouldn't breastfeed me. She told me she only liked me as a friend. But he said it way better. David Bowie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust. Now, what an answer to Nine Inch Nails and to bring this album up, because seriously, like if you like The Fragile and you like Nine Inch Nails, you want to listen to this album. This album will take you there. It will take you there from the beginning to the end. 5 years to the whole Rock and Roll Suicide. That's it starts with 5 years and goes to Rock and Roll Suicide. And starts strong, and the whole thing is incredible. Pick this album up. Lou Reed, Transformer, produced by David Bowie. Here's my dog. Lou Reed, Transformer. Come on, Feepster. Go. Same year. Seriously, like if you listen to these records, they're kind of like answers to each other. Like they really are. And they're both produced by David Bowie. So I'm a huge Ozzy fan. But you gotta hand it to Rodney James Dio for holding the reins for a while, because this album is incredible. Mob Rules. Fantastic. The Stooges Funhouse. Another David Bowie produced album. I take that back. It's not produced by David Bowie. Raw Power is produced by David Bowie. This album is produced by Don Gallucci and arranged by the Stooges. This is the beginnings of punk rock. The very beginnings of punk rock. What year did this come out in? 1970. So that's episode 19. Keep it going. Thank you for tuning in. I'm afraid of